The chief assigned it to a detective. Well, you're the only one, obviously.
I'm the only one.
I mean, I didn't even get to compliment you, which I tended to do today, because she had to push the address issue. Were you here for that? Did you see that?
I was standing
Yeah.
right there to your
Did you notice what she did? Was she read down the list? She didn't ask that guy for the address, but she saw it was next, and then she caught it at the end and said, "Oh, what's your address?" And I'm like, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. She does this.
Consistency.
And then when I was mentioning she didn't do it with him, and she goes, there was an email on that address, and I'm going,
An email's not an address.
well, she's referring to the one before, which I mentioned in a criminal complaint against her, but that hasn't even been filed yet. So how does she know about it already? I'm like, I don't care. I understand. I put it in an email. Emails float. I do whatever. But at the same time, I'm sitting there laughing because she knows darn well eventually that email is going to show up. And even if there was an address on it, it was only his first name given. And she's requiring first and last name and address from everyone else that she doesn't like. But for that person, oh, Bob, just Bob, no address, read the email. And then when someone said, hey, what was the address on it? They gave Jack Miller's address. Now you tell me who likes Jack Miller and is going to compliment the mayor and insult Jack Miller their entire email. As if that now, in fairness, I got trolls out there on the internet that are telling me the same thing. Oh, if you don't like it, just use Jack Miller's address. And these are people that don't like Jack Miller. So maybe they would. I mean, I could see how they could find that funny. I would. I mean, if I want to send in a tirade against Jack, why not use his own address?
Sure.
You know? But again, I have a right not to give my address. The state's already done this. That's why Alpine had to revoke their mandatory, you have to disclose your address. It's a safety issue. I don't have to disclose my address to speak in public. I can tell you I'm a resident of the state of Texas.
My address is this, and Madam Mayor, your address is this. Now that we all know each other's address, I'll continue to speak.
I guarantee you. I mean, that's why I asked. I said, what's your address? She don't want to give her address. Right across the street there. But since she doesn't want to give her address but insists everyone else's, do you think that it's not going to be made publicly known? And she's going to say, that's doxing me. That's wrong. You doxed me. And I say, how's that wrong when you insist?
You are doxing every resident that speaks at the city council meeting.
And there's no way that she can sit there and tell me.
And when if we don't give an address, shut up and sit down. It's like, okay.
I mean, I'm willing to take that hit. I do what I do, and I know this is petty stuff.
Sure.
But it all builds up to a Manel case, and that's where you get your money. When they go into punitive damages, not what did I possibly lose by not speaking today and complimenting Caitlin for fixing a couple of things on the website that I brought to her attention, the officer here for telling me, about the flags issues and trusting me as a non-citizen enough to get that information where it needed to go. Oh, former treasurer of the VFW, he can tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
Any VFW will take the flags.
Every year they have a burn on Flag Day. It's